How was your week, Anna?
I started last week in the hospital.
Right. Why were you in the hospital, Anna?
I had to go to emergency. I had really intense abdominal pains.
Tell me about it, Grey's Anatomy.
Turns out I had an infection in my colon.
Well, that's terrible.
That there's no really specific, a reason why people get it. Google says it could be food poisoning, something I ate that had some type of bacteria in it.
It was those food trucks. I believe it.
I have a feeling it was the food trucks as well. I had some meat. It didn't look bad. It didn't taste bad. But I guess it's a type of meat that I've never had before.
What did you have?
It was called carne de vara.
Oh.
But I don't know exactly what vara is.
To me, the vara is the vara of corrección, which is a staff. A staff of correction.
But I don't think
for
that's
children, all the bad children out there.
I don't think that's...
I don't think that was it either.
What the meat was for. I don't know. Whatever. It ended up... But the pain was bad.
Wow, I can imagine. It's bad enough to go to the hospital.
Yeah. It was like contractions, but in my stomach.
Woof. Wait. Are contractions not in your stomach?
No, ma'am. Contractions are in your ovaries and your uterus area. Your uterus is contracting.
Right, but so it's like a cramp?
Yeah, but times 10, times 20.
We're women and we cramp. So I figured.
But cramps, period cramps, are... Contractions are period cramps elevated.
Ew.
And it's on your uterus. You feel them on your back as well.
Well, I mean, period cramps, you do feel them on your back too.
Exactly. Well, this was not in my uterus or back area. This was literally here in the center of my stomach. And I was I thought I was dying.
Well, something I didn't know. I thought they were in your stomach because your stomach, I don't know. Your stomach is contracting like you need to pooties a baby. Mm-hmm.
But it's in your uterus when you're pregnant and you're going to give birth. You feel like you have to poop.
Oh, that's why people poop when they're giving
But you're
birth.
also just poop pushing. That's how you push out a baby. You know, how we push when we're going to poop?
Right,
because,
right,
oh my God,
yeah. Well, you're not supposed to... Okay, fun fact. You're not supposed to push when you poop because you can get a brain aneurysm and die.
Yeah.
In the toilet.
You can also get a lot of things.
Right. That's embarrassing. You died from poop.
But when you feel like you're ready to push, that's what you feel. Like you have to poop and you can't hold it. It's it's going to come out, guys. I need to push. I need to poop.
See, I did not think of it like that. I figured it's just no, because, the stomach is contracting. Oh, no. Woof. That's a topic for season 2. All things birth giving, because ick.
Sure.
And oof.
I don't know too much about that because I had a C-section. But
that counts.
I researched a lot prior to giving birth.
Okay, well, C-section is a completely different category because it rearranged your organs.
Yeah.
And that is terrifying. Although I wanted to be there to see it happen because I'm a fan. But
maybe next time you and Dennis can switch.
God bless. He's useless. I will have the GoPro on. Don't worry about it.
They didn't let him inside with the GoPro.
That's crazy because every baby after Mateo had a friggin' film about it. That's not fair.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We literally walked in there and they're like, yeah, it's hospital policy. You can't record our staff.
It was
so
probably
you can't
because
record.
of friggin' COVID. But why? When I'm recording your stuff, you all have masks on. Ain't nobody know who you are. Okay, I'm going to fight. I'm going to become a Karen for the next baby. For
the next baby.
For the next baby. I think so.
Sure.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of We Should Know This podcast. This is episode number 7.
I can't.
Wow, you're not just doing the hands for me? Just that's it? All right, well. 7. Episode 7. Mark it down as she's over it. Anyway.
Over it.
Episode 7. Thank you guys so much for being here.
The truth is, I couldn't figure out how many was 7 for a second.
This many.
I know, but I was just like, oh crap.
Is that how you do your 2s?
No, I just figured that it'll be easier than
That was exactly the exact amount of effort.
Sure. Listen, it's the first thing that happened. That came out. Okay?
All right, I'll take it. Whatever. L7 over here. Whatever.
L7.
Okay, it's fine. 7 and 5. It's no 2 and 5. Idiot. All right, we're done. We're at episode 7, and we're tired. Thank you guys so much for being here. You've made it this far.
I know.
We've made it this far.
We're getting closer to the end of season 1.
We are getting closer to the end of season 1. This is the end. Not yet.
Song for everything.
Find our merch later. No, we're not putting merch out. Relax.
Why not?
I mean,
Maybe later.
Just for us two. Anyway, Emma, what is the episode about today?
So today's episode, I actually wanted to say a disclaimer, which I was going to wait till later on towards the end of season 1 to say. Someone asked us a couple weeks ago.
Actually, I know what you're about to say, and multiple people have asked that.
So multiple people have asked, so like, when are we going to talk about things that we don't know or things that we should know, which is the title of our podcast. So since, they threw the jab in there.
It's all right.
It's fine. So intentionally, we wanted to do season 1 as more of like a season of getting to know your hosts,
right?
Us, who we are.
You should know this about us.
Exactly. Know things about us. We're learning things about each other, etc. Before we move on to like, we should know this.
How stupid we are. Right. How silly.
How stupid we are.
How silly. How silly and like not knowledgeable we are.
Yeah. So that's my disclaimer. We should know this. Topics are coming.
Exactly. Hello. I'm just checking my mic. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. I'm not done. Okay, now I'm done.
Got it.
Right.
She is ready.
I'm ready now.
We're ready to start.
All right. Well, your fingers were all messed up in the beginning. Let me have this. Anyway.
Okay. So topic for today for episode 7. The title of our topic is called The Best and the Worst. So like I said earlier, we're still learning things about each other and our experiences in different seasons and different times in our life. So today we have each selected a topic for each other.
Right.
We've each selected a moment or a season in our lives. So she picked one for me and I picked one for her. And we're going to talk about our best experiences during that season and then our worst experience during that same season.
Yep.
And like, just, go back and forth.
Just talk about it, chit chat. If you don't like it, you can skip and leave. Anyway, I'm just kidding. We're going to cut that out. So who do you want to go first? You or me?
I don't know. We were discussing this right before we started and then we never
decided. We
decided.
didn't decide and then just started recording.
Yeah.
We're trying to go for a natural feel, guys.
So who should go first?
I think you should go first because you're the oldest.
Okay, but I go first.
Right. No, you're going to talk.
Okay.
You're going to talk and I'm going to bring up a moment in time of your life. Okay. So.
Wait, do I need tissues?
I'm going to safely assume you will just because you're a crier.
Because I'm a crier. Okay, but I can't get up right now. So guess what? My shirt is going to be
Shirt
used
it is. Shirt it is. If not, we call Dennis.
As tissue.
If not, we just shot Dennis real quick.
Got it.
So he has the door open. He's trying to cop
well, he's in the baby's room.
All right, bet. Okay, so my moment in time that I'm going to ask you about, what was your best and your worst of... How do I word it?
Oh, I thought you were thinking about what to ask me. I was like, you should have this by now.
No, I do. I had a couple of moments in my brain before I landed on this one, just because it's, whatever. I guess, what is your best and worst time in pregnancy? Let me continue our question. Okay. Pregnancy in the sense of from the moment you knew you wanted to get pregnant to the moment you gave birth to Matthew.
Okay.
Matthew. Shout out Matthew. Every episode.
Shout out Matthew. Okay.
So what is your best moment or best time or what is your peak of pregnancy? What was the peak of pregnancy?
So I feel like...
You're going to cry?
No, I feel like...
I'll go get the tissues.
It's hard. It's not hard to pick a best
right.
Moment for me from my experience. It might be harder to pick a worst. But pregnancy is different for everyone.
Correct.
All women are different. We all experience pregnancy different. For me, obviously, from the moment I knew I wanted to have children was since I was young.
Okay, how young? Because if you're telling me 12, we have an issue.
No. I want to say after your brother was born.
Okay.
And we kind of got a little bit of experience in kind of like raising a child or taking care of a kid.
Okay, let's hold that thought real quick.
Okay.
Another disclaimer. when we are talking and we say your mom and your dad and your brother, it's not that we have separate parents
or separate siblings.
Or separate siblings. It's all the same. Her dad is my dad, her mom is my mom, and her brother is my brother. We just claim it to the other.
Yeah.
It's just so I saw a TikTok the other day. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine.
But I saw a TikTok the other day, and some girl was saying, "Oh my god, you know how Hispanics are like, oh, my mom this and my mom that."
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, we're the wrong kind of Hispanics because we shoot it out to the other person. We're like, no, your mom, and no, your dad says to call him, and so as you just said, I think when your mom had your brother, I just want everybody to know
it's the same family.
It's the same family, same people. Her brother's my brother, same parents.
Yeah,
they did not get divorced. They're happily married, 40 whatever years. They're fine. Everybody's cool. We just shoot them off to the other. You know. Okay.
I don't know why we do that, but we've been doing that for years.
We have been doing that.
It's just stuck.
It's stuck at this point. Okay, continue.
Yeah, so I think it's after your brother came along, and we got to experience a little bit of taking care of him. Our parents were older when they had him,
right?
So we did, and we weren't kids. We were 10 and 11, so that still makes us kids, but we're not like adults. So we still had to put in a lot of help. Our parents, our moms more specifically, needed help.
Yeah.
So that's when I knew that I wanted to be a mom.
Right.
Dennis and I got married. I'm not gonna go from
No, we remember. We remember that.
Yeah, the story.
The story of the want to be my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. So Dennis and I got married in 2015.
Right.
In October 2015. And we decided where August 2016 I would get off of birth control and we would start trying.
Right.
And that didn't happen right away. Everyone is different.
Everyone's different.
The experience happens to everyone differently. So it was about 3 years, a little bit over 3 years before I got pregnant. At that point, I wouldn't say that I gave up hope.
Right.
I was just like, okay, like it's going to happen when it's going to happen.
Claro.
It is what it is. I can't like force it on my time. Everything's going to happen on God's time. So I found out I was pregnant in November 2019. It was right before Thanksgiving.
Right.
I found out I was pregnant. And the reason why I decided to even go ahead and take like a pregnancy test or anything was because I was having pregnancy symptoms. But I honestly thought it was just like whatever, like sometimes pregnancy symptoms are the same as period symptoms.
Right, as we were just saying.
So I thought, oh, whatever, like I felt kind of crampy, my boobs hurt. I felt a little bit nauseous, which I get like that sometimes when I'm on my period. But the weirdest or like, I guess, oddest symptom that I was having was two of them. Number one, I was craving pickles. I love pickles, but I was craving them and I had to have them every single night.
Wow, you're a pickle girly.
Yeah. And
which is crazy because Machu hates pickles.
He'll get there. He'll like them eventually.
He's going to become a pickle boy.
So I was craving pickles, which it's not like a pregnancy thing, but you know what it is. They put in the books and like movies, like pickles and ice cream is what pregnant women crave.
That's atrocious.
So I was craving pickles, but I was just craving things that were really salty.
Right.
So it wasn't just pickles. I would have olives. I would have spicy pickles. I would have like different varieties of pickles. And
wow, you were ahead of the times. Look at TikTok now.
I had to have it every single night. I was like, okay, that's a little weird. And then the other thing was, if you know me, I'm never cold.
Right.
I'm always hot. Right now I'm sitting here, I'm sweating.
Same.
The AC is blasting, but I'm sweating.
Same.
And I was cold to the point where, okay, we sleep with 68, the AC. Dennis would have to like put it up to like 72.
Oof, it sounds like hell.
And I was like, and I was still cold. Like I would literally cover myself in the blankets and I was shivering. I was like, okay, this is weird.
No.
And this was whatever. Monday comes along. I go to work like normal. And I decided, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should take one. But I didn't have any at home.
Right.
So while I was at work, I did Target pickup because they had already started that.
Yes, true.
Before COVID.
That's right.
So we did I did Target pickup. I came home. Dennis was still not home. Or he was, but he was like taking out Chans. So I was like, okay, I have to be quick. I have the recording, all that stuff. I took the test. It turns out it's positive. But I took 2 tests because I was like, if I'm not pregnant, I could be ovulating.
Right.
I took both. Ovulation was negative, and then I take a peek at the pregnancy one, and I see 2 lines. So I was like, oh, crap.
It's like, I know you lying.
I was in shock. Like, I didn't even cry right away.
Right. Well.
I, like, waited, and of course, I was in shock, so I took, like, 9 tests. Which Dennis, till this day, like, makes fun of me or whatever.
That's right. Well, because... Shut up, Dennis.
He's just like, why the 9 tests? I was like, because I was still in shock, and like I needed to know.
Sure. Listen, we gotta be sure.
Also, anything can happen. There's people that they'll take a test one day, then the next day the test is negative, and that could be a sign of what's called chemical pregnancy, miscarriage, whatever, ectopic pregnancy. It could be a lot of things. Yeah. So of course, the next day I still haven't told Dennis. I call my doctor, and she's out of town.
Wonderful. We love a vacationing doctor.
I had to wait almost 3 weeks to get like the actual blood work confirmation.
So here's my question. How in God's name, or how do you hold that in for 3 weeks?
I mean, I didn't.
Okay. Well, there you go. So that explains. That was short.
So, I found out on a Monday. I didn't tell Dennis until Friday because, you know, I wanted to make it cute or whatever. And of course, I had to Amazon Prime, but Amazon Prime played me.
And it didn't come. Of the pandemic, bro. Let him have it.
Yeah, I guess. Fine. So I told Dennis on a Friday. And was this Friday? Yes. Then the following Monday, I told him on Friday. Saturday, we went to Disney on a girls' trip, on a day trip.
I'm never going to forget that. And we hate you for it till this day. Yeah.
So no one knew. Right. We were with all the girls and nobody knew. This was Saturday. Monday, I told Dennis in the morning, I was like, I can't take it anymore. Like, I need to tell my friends. I need to tell them. And I needed to tell you. I needed to tell Sin. We told, and Kate was here too. We were celebrating your birthday. So we had dinner. I told you guys. Everyone, tears. Well. And then, unfortunately, the next day, Abuela passed.
Yeah. More tears. Whatever. Move along.
So that's a story about like how
it happens.
How it happens, whatever.
So now that you are pregnant.
I'm pregnant.
Now you're officially pregnant. You do the thing. You go to the doctor. It's official. Blood work and all that. Mm-hmm. Now, from there on out, what's the best moment? Like, was it the finding out? Was it the feeling the first kicks of this little karate star that we have now?
I think they're different. There's a lot of special moments.
Right.
And it's hard. I didn't have a bad pregnancy. I had a pretty good pregnancy.
You sure did.
I was considered at one point like high risk because they had to do some like tests on the baby's heart. Right. Like some stuff that they didn't see in the like original like first ultrasound or the anatomy scan. So we had to go whatever. But I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel like any like negative like type of. I had a good pregnancy. I couldn't sleep, but I couldn't sleep before I got pregnant.
Still can't. Still can't.
You know, like walking was annoying. Same before pregnancy.
That's why we get scooties.
It's
next.
Only at the end where it got a little bit uncomfortable. I can explain lightning crotch, but
no,
I'm not gonna explain it. I mean, I can.
I mean, like, is it a medical term? Like, is it a medical thing? Like, does it happen to all the pregnant ladies?
I don't think it happens to everybody, but lightning crotch is basically where things just become so heavy and so like intense, where it starts to feel like a burning sensation down there and like hurts. So it's like, okay, sharp pains. Every time I walked. That was the only uncomfortable thing about like pregnancy. Now, again, there's a lot of special moments, but I think one of the best parts of my pregnancy journey was every time going to like an ultrasound and getting to see him and hearing his heartbeat. Because when you get pregnant, again, anything can happen. Things can go bad. And although that's not what we want, it was always like a relief and almost like a reassurance. Like, this is still real. Like, this is really happening every time you go and you get to see him and he's moving and his heart is still beating. Right. So I think that was the best part of like pregnancy in general. Like, I loved going to my doctor's appointments especially the ones where I got to see him in like ultrasound, because not all of them are like that.
Right.
But I think that that's the best. There's obviously, yes, the special moments, the first time you feel them kick, or the first time you hear the heartbeat, or like little details. I remember when I saw in the ultrasound, I was born with like 0 hair.
It's true.
I had like no hair to the point where our mom had to tape like the little bows on my head. They didn't have like the headbands yet.
Right.
All they had was a little bow. So she had to put tape on.
Because it didn't have anything to clip on.
So I was born with no hair, and I haven't seen much baby pictures of Dennis. So I was just like, okay, I didn't expect baby to come out with hair. I expected baby to come out bald. So like, you know, seeing in the ultrasound, you can see hair. You can see their hair. It looks like tiny little follicles on top of their head.
Like little spikes.
Yes.
Oh my God. Now look at him. He's a beautiful little curly boy.
And I was more...
A picture of Matthew. There he is.
I was even more surprised when he came out and his hair was curled.
That's right.
And I was like, oh my God, this is it.
Strong genes in this family.
Yeah.
Hello. Just kidding.
I'm wearing my hair curly today.
Yeah, she's wearing her hair curly today.
But yeah, I guess the best part of my pregnancy experience was getting to see him every time. Even though like he wasn't here, he wasn't physically in my arms, but like it just made it more real every time. Because even till like the day that he was gonna be born, like I was still like, am I really having a baby?
Yeah, you did.
I didn't have like this huge pregnancy like stomach. I was small, and the baby came out small-ish. It was like 6 pounds.
But the man blew up. The man blew up. Yes, he did, Lord.
The man did blow up.
We love him. We love him.
So I wasn't big. And then it was in the middle of COVID. So we were in like lockdown. I didn't have like a regular baby shower, and like couldn't have people over. I couldn't go to places. Church had started opening up. Couldn't go to church. In the hospital, I couldn't have anybody. It was just me and Dennis. And if I tested positive for COVID, then Dennis couldn't come in, and I would have had to have the entire experience by myself.
First of all, how terrifying.
Which I'm so thankful.
None of you tested.
That the Lord waited to give us COVID. Just kidding.
All in God's time. Hallelujah.
We got COVID way later.
God's timing is perfect.
But yeah, the best part. And then obviously when he's here.
It's here. Estaba feito. He was swollen.
Well, that's how they come out. And he was stuck.
That's right. That's why the C-section.
Yes, correct? Because I made it all the way to 9 centimeters. And then I don't know what happened.
Like, we're done here. Martinez al fin. Wow.
He got stuck.
He his daddy's son.
And then my cervix started to swell. So instead of from 9, I was starting to go back.
No, ma'am.
And he had already been 24 hours without any amniotic fluid because they had broken my water. So the doctor was like, I think C-section is what's best. Obviously, it's not what I wanted. I don't think any mom really wants to have a C-section. Maybe there is people out there that do, but I don't think any mom, that's their choice. Obviously, they would prefer vaginal or whatever because it's like the more natural way.
The natural way, yeah.
But for me, at that moment when they told me I needed to get a C-section, I was scared. I was concerned. I was like, this isn't what I want. I want to keep trying, whatever. But then at some point, the nurse saw me crying, and Dennis had put worship music on. It was a specific song from like Hillsong. I can't even remember the name right now. But she heard the song, and she's like, I love that song. So I was like, you know this song? She's like, yeah. So she was Christian, and turns out that she's like, listen, whatever's going to happen is how God meant for it to be. Don't be scared. We're right here with you. We're going to take very good care of you. And I was like, okay.
Shout out to that nurse.
I don't know. I can't even remember their names. There was like a few of them. But she was there during the whole process. She didn't leave my side. Even during the C-section, I was laying down. Dennis was behind me, and she was in the front, making sure that everything was okay.
That's wonderful.
So that like those are like special moments in that time. But yeah, that was the worst. I mean, the best.
The best.
Sorry. The best.
The best.
The worst? I don't know. I don't think I have a worse. Like I said, there's moments where I was uncomfortable in my pregnancy. I guess just the worst part of the whole experience I would have to say is COVID.
Right. Okay. That's valid. That's valid.
it took a lot away from my original desire of like pregnancy and birthing experience. But like I said, it happened the way it was meant to happen, and I'm thankful. I'm grateful for the moments, the experience, and hopefully in the future with different kids, more kids, whenever I have
all
them.
4 of them. Mm-hmm.
Not 4.
Just let
whenever
it happen,
I have them, hopefully the experience is different. And if it's not, again, it's gonna happen how it's meant to happen.
That's true. And look, and if it's not, you've already been through it once. Who says you can't do it again?
Yeah.
And I do it again.
I mean, obviously I want to try the natural way,
Well,
but
yeah.
if they tell me like, hey, C-section again, C-section it is. Here's a scar. Do you need it?
She said, here's the scar. Do you need it?
If you're not watching the YouTube video.
you were making hand gestures, and you're going to have to watch it to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. That's valid though. COVID was a number one unexpected thing that we really didn't think was going to happen. We thought it was just going to stay over there and like, well, we'll have 1 or 2 cases here.
Mm-hmm.
It was a worldwide pandemic, and you're right. It did take away a few, things. Luckily, we got some important things in there before we were on like official lockdown, like your gender reveal.
Yeah,
we did. You got your photo shoot done. Like there was a few.
I actually got that while COVID was still happening.
So
it was just like us 2 and the photographer. Like no one came, or anything like that. I do think that one thing that COVID that came out that was good from COVID, and I know that I might sound like selfish when I say this, but like in the hospital being just the 3 of us after he was born, like that's a special time.
Right.
And I go back and forth in my head as to whether in my future pregnancies or future kids, if I want to have the same experience, because I feel like that's special. Like you're never going to get that again.
Of course.
So like if I have baby number 2, we're never really going to get a time with just him and I and baby number 2.
Yeah.
Like that time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like once we go home, like it's us 2, baby number 2 and Mateo, and Chance. Like it's all like 5 of us or however many it happens. Familia. But like the special moment where you get just the 3, like that was good for me.
Okay.
And when we had Mateo.
That's wonderful. I mean, listen, kudos to you. That's dope.
Yeah.
And you had the time by yourselves here at home. I mean, along with Chance, but because of COVID, it was like you visit when I say so, type of thing. So you had your moments.
I mean, I didn't mind. I think after I had Mateo, things got a little bit worse. Not worse, but I experienced baby blues. If you don't know what that is, we can discuss it. But
well, I mean, general consensus, it's not fully postpartum depression, but it's
correct
blues, like
it's temporary. Postpartum depression can go a little bit longer than expected.
Right.
Baby blues is technically supposed to, scientifically and through research, anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks tops. And then it'll just go away. Like it just.
And did that happen?
It did. It started a couple days after I had Mateo, and literally 2 weeks after it was good.
Okay. Well, see, that's something I didn't know. When you were going through it and after that.
I didn't.
Like, how do we...
do I go
get you water? Do I go get you some sugar?
I didn't know what I was experiencing until I had obviously like looked it up, and I was just like, I remember you guys texting me. I was being very short, very vague. I didn't really care to like communicate or do anything. And then one day Cindy texted me and she's like, "Are you feeling blue?" And I was like, "Yeah."
I think that's the word.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Okay, now I know what's happening."
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, just because, disclaimer, me and Cindy did have a conversation.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, after everything was happening, I was just like, something's happening. She's not the same. Something's wrong. Does it hurt? Like, because let's be very absolutely for real. Ana Luz had a C-section.
Yeah.
Day 2, she was getting up on her own. Yeah. She went up and down stairs. She was carrying that baby like it's nobody's business. Es una bárbara. Let's put right here, caballota. Okay?
Thanks.
That's what she was. And then she started with her baby blues, and I was just like, Sin, Like, friend, what is it? Like, how do I do? What does she need from me? Or what she need from us? Like,
Yeah.
do I keep my parents away? Do I keep my parents together? Like, what? So it was one of those things that we both kind of like researched on our own, and then
I think the reason why she went to Cindy so much is because during this pregnancy like journey, like I was pregnant, but Cindy was doing all the research.
Right.
Cindy was like sending me stuff which I loved and appreciated because I didn't have to go do the research.
She's like, oh, this is a video.
She did it for me in like the best way. Like I was never like, oh, yeah, I already saw that. You don't have to send it to me. Like, no, I appreciated all of that. But yeah, I experienced that. I went through it. And sometimes I think about like, oh crap, am I going to go through that again? Like I really don't want to. But like I really want more kids in like 2 weeks to compare to like a lifetime of like joy and happiness with a kid.
Also,
give me all the
you've
baby
already
blues.
Been through it. Who's to say you can't do it again?
I know. I can do it again.
You got it. Of course you can.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's wonderful. I think those are valid. So COVID being your worst.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of people's worst. And the best was the heartbeats.
Yeah, like just getting to see him. I think the whole experience of pregnancy for me was the best. I don't have anything to complain about, honestly.
Now I'm going to talk to the future babies.
Okay.
You give her heartburn, it'll be a problem. You give her swollen feet, it'll be a problem.
I didn't have heartburn with Mateo.
You give her cravings for hot Cheetos, it'll be a problem because she can't have them. So figure it out.
I did anyway. One time. I had hot Cheetos with lime.
That's why he's so spicy. That's why Mateo is so spicy.
I didn't have heartburn with him and he had hair.
Okay, well, because now I'm starting to think that's a myth.
Well, Steph had it and Allison came out with a lot of hair.
Yeah, no.
Allison
came out like Rapunzel over here, but no, look.
Yeah.
But, okay, so could it be heartburn because of hair with girls? Because he came out with a full head of hair and you don't have heartburn.
No, I didn't.
Myth. Anyway, that's wonderful. Valid.
Thanks.
Valid.
So now we're going to move on to yours.
Okay. I rolled my eyes.
Okay. So I was also trying to figure out how to word it.
Also, congratulations on not crying.
Oh, thanks. I got a little teary eyed, but I didn't.
We all saw it. But it's fine. She didn't make no tear shall
actually came out.
Right.
So, okay. So this is a time in your life where we weren't so close.
Right.
So I want to know about your best and your worst experience in general, I think, or however you want to, if there's a specific time or whatever, about your college life. So if you guys don't know, Soph graduated high school, she started college, she was here, and then she made the decision to go ahead and stupidly move away.
Stupidly? No, it was a great time.
She was like an hour and a half away.
Exactly. I was in West Palm Beach. It was fine.
But she decided to go away. She lived on her own for the first time. I remember when we like dropped you off, it was like a whole like cry fest,
tear fest. Yeah, absolutely.
Because you were the first person, like I'm the oldest, but you were the first person to like move out and you were coming back. So it wasn't like
it was like every other weekend I was back here anyway.
Yeah, you were here every other weekend, but you were coming back home when you were done with college.
Well, yeah.
Like whatever. So your best and your worst experience or moments in your like college, and from beginning, like from when you graduated high school and you decided I'm gonna go to MDC because that's where you started, all the way till you finished and graduated from PBA.
Okay. Well, so after high school, senior year was a hot mess, but whatever, I did it. I went to college, like you said, at MDC, and I decided to go to MDC because FAFSA. I was not FIU was not the monster it is today. It was like Ratchet City. And I was just like, I'd rather more Ratchet City in Hialeah campus of Miami-Dade.
Yeah, because out of all the campuses, you chose Hialeah.
It was the closest. Okay. It was the closest. I rather that than North, because North was way too big for my comfort. And I had a friend going there too. So it all worked out.
You had a couple friends.
I had a few friends over there in
Yeah.
Hialeah, so might as well. So for my best and worst time, I think in Miami-Dade, I think I was fine. Coming from such a small school and such a closed off school, you're not prepared for college.
Absolutely
You
not.
do not leave GOG prepared for college. So luckily I had my friend who had already been there for maybe like a semester and a half or whatever. a semester. So she already kind of knew the ropes, and she was just like, this is where you're going. This is the room that you're looking for. And this is what you're doing. Okay. She's like, this is what you're going to need. A bunch of pens, a bunch of notebooks, and a bunch of books, whatever. So that kind of eased me into the whole college situation. Miami-Dade was not a bad time.
Was it helpful that Miami-Dade, specifically Hialeah, was a smaller campus?
Yes, wholeheartedly. I did attend, for certain classes, I did have to attend Wolfson a few times. And I did have to attend one time. I went to Kendall campus because I had to do like a CLEP.
You also went to West.
And I also went to West campus for a math class, which was...
So
as I like to call it, Doralezuelas. All the Venezuelans live there and only there.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't, I don't think that there was anything like terrible about Miami-Dade life. And then I finished there, and then I decided to continue my education in PBA in West Palm Beach. I want to tell you that I'm still today, I hate the train. The tri-rail could get off the rails and die.
Well, wait. So you started PBA, if I remember correctly, the first year you were traveling. You didn't live there yet.
No. So the way that I did PBA was me and my friend at the time, we commuted every single day on the tri-rail. 2 hours going that way and 2 hours going this way. And it was like, we have to catch the 5 a.m. train. Or 5:30, 5 a.m. No, 5 a.m. train, because we had to leave my house at 4:30 to be there by 5 before the train got there. Whatever. So 5 a.m. train, we would get to PBA or get to West Palm station around 7:37. We would usually catch a cab, or if we were feeling up for it, we would walk to school. Yes, a cab. We had one cab. Yes, because Uber was like not.
It wasn't a thing yet.
No.
Oh.
So we figured. The first time we went over there to just kind of see the lay of the land and like what was the route we were going to take, your dad came with me. So he's like, we're going to ride the train together. It was me, your dad, and Melissa. And we rode the train and we got there, and he was just like, now what do you do from here? So we were like, okay, we're going to grab a cab. So we took a cab and your dad paid for it. He was like, okay, I'll see you guys when you get back to Miami. Like, bye.
So he rode the train back by himself?
Yeah. He rode the train back by himself, and then he left because he wanted to see the route, I guess, being a dad. So the first year, like I said, we commuted, and when we got to the train station over there in West Palm, we would have to take a cab. So since Melissa's a hustler, she has a mentality of a hustler. Shout out to her mom. She went to multiple cabs and was just like, how much to get us to PBA? No, that's going to be $12. She's just like, I'm taking $12 from you. Bye. Thank you so much. Never mind. Thank you. She went to a few other ones. They're like, no, 16, 15, blah, blah, blah. And we were about, she was like, we're going to miss our first class. We have to get into one of these. And I was just like, okay, fine. Look, we'll split it. It's not a big deal. So then all of a sudden we're getting into this cab. And one of the guys that she had asked already, he's like, you guys are going to PBA, you said? And she was just like, yes, we need to be there at this time, blah, blah, blah. And he was the nicest man. He was just like, get out of his cab. Come with me. And I was just like, well, this was just
that sounds a little
super sketch. Let me explain. I was just like, I don't want to die. Oh my God. Okay. Listen, I am a chicken for all of these things. Yeah. I'm a rule follower. I was just like, I will pay the man $12. I don't have him, but I will find him. Yeah. But she was just like, get out of his cab. Come with me. I was just like, is he putting me in danger, or are you? Which is it? So whatever. He's like, I will make it $6 for you. Oh, okay. So she was just like, okay. He's like, you guys seem very nice. And he's like, and I want to do this for you so long as you find me every day. I will take you every day for $6 a piece. And here's my number. If you need me, I'll go pick you up. The nicest man. So we finally
don't have those here.
No.
Only in West Palm Beach.
And he was only in West Palm. He was the nicest man. And when we got into his car, he was listening to a Christian radio station. Oh. In Haitian.
In Haitian?
Because you know how, okay, being pastors' kids, you know how when somebody's preaching on the radio, you hear it? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't speak Creole. I don't speak any of that. But I know somebody was preaching on the radio, and I was just like, God bless. So Pierre, shout out to Pierre, wherever he's at. Pierre took us to school. almost every day, up until they came out with the trolleys, and then the trolleys were free.
Yeah.
So you get a trolley, and it'll make like 4 or 5 stops before it gets to literally the corner of the school. Mm-hmm. And the same thing, you pick up the same trolley, a couple of more stops, and you land in the station. And it was for free. So we're like, oh, we're gonna have to let Peter go. That took about half a semester. And so we commuted every single day. And then finally the second year, I told your parents, I literally came to them with tears in my eyes. And I was just like, I cannot do this another year. I am over it. It's, first of all, the tri-rail is dangerous.
It is.
I do not like it, and I'm not a fan. So, especially at 5 a.m. when there's tons of people going to work, or tons of people leaving work, you know, that crowd.
Yeah.
So I told your parents, I was just like, whatever, I will go get a job. I will figure this out. I will go to school full time and go get a job, so long as I need to live there. Help me, please. So it was me and Melissa, and her mom was just like, absolutely, say less. Don't worry about it. And then I'm like, we're going to have to find somebody else, because between the both of us, we cannot make enough income to pay for a place. And we were willing to like go in on 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, because we will figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, so long as we're over there and not having to commute every single day, we'll figure it out. Luckily, she had a schoolmate or a classmate who was actually leaving or ending a lease with her other roommates. So she's just like, I'm actually by myself. Do you mind? And at first I was super skeptic. I was just like, I don't know her. She's going to stab me in my sleep, and I don't know her. Like, she's going to cry all the time. Like, I don't know who this person is. I don't know. I don't know what I thought. But I was just like, great, awesome. She was like, no, she's super wholesome, and like, she says she's willing to pay whatever, and she just needs it for the 1 year, because she's graduating next year. And I was just like, okay, fine, whatever. I met her one time. We talked about what was the budget. We talked about what we were looking for. She's like, I would prefer my own room. I'm like, say less. Me and Melissa will room together. You get your own room. So we're looking for a 2-bedroom. Everybody okay with 1 bathroom. So we kind of went in the talks. And then I believe one of my classmates told me, I have a real estate agent who works with a lot of students here who want to live off campus. And I was just like, all right, say less. Give me her number. So I ended up emailing this lady, and I was just like, hi, Elaine, blah, blah, blah. My name is Sophia. I'm moving in with, I'm looking for this and this and this. She's like, oh, are you part of BBA? I was just like, yes, I am. So are the rest of the students, like the people living there. So she was just like, okay, let me see what I can find. So she sent us, I don't know how many places. And I was the footman, because Melissa was off with her mother and I don't know who. And then Emily was living back in Connecticut, because she was from Connecticut originally. So it took 1 summer. So it took an entire summer to find a place. And I was mostly the footman of like emailing back and forth with the real estate agent and like, no, this doesn't work, and send me the contract and let me see and blah, blah, blah. So I would forward it to everybody else. And then we found 1 apartment, and it was great. It was just what we needed. It was super duper close to the school, like walking distance. I think we were like, I want to tell you, total of 5 blocks. Yeah. And they were like small blocks, whatever. So we ended up moving there, and to say the least, the place was a disaster. It was very bare bones, and it was made en el año del Egypt. De la Torre, like the freaking pyramids. Yeah. So we went there, whatever, and I was just like, look, it's not like a fixer-upper. Like, we really don't need to, like, I'm not building a deck. I'm not doing any of those things. But the place was infested with roaches. Oof. It had been painted so much that the windows were sealed shut.
Oh, yeah.
There was no oxygen in the household. Yep. In the sense of, like, Emily would turn on a candle and it would shut off. That's bad, bro.
Yes, it is.
So it took a while, but I was just like, are you guys going to fumigate this place? And the landlord was just like, we're not fumigating anything. This is your place, blah, 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 blah. So I did, me and Melissa's dad, he was just like, we bought you these little pastillitas that are like venom, and like they just eat them and die. And he's like, we're going to bomb the place so like you can get some type of relief, blah, blah, blah. But they were everywhere, dude. Everywhere. And you would think this is the worst part. It's not. Everywhere. They were everywhere. So no matter how many bombs we did, those little pastillitas, they were just like, oh, put one in a drawer or every 16 feet. I was just like popping them like pills. Like, no, you can get 6 pills. until Emily, who is of the Caucasian race,
shout out to Emily.
Shout out to Emily. We love you.
I do too. I'm not close to her, but I remember when I got pregnant, she knew that Abuela had passed.
Yep.
And she sends us a little onesie that says sent from heaven with a kiss from my great grandmother. Sophie and I lost it.
That was one of his first outfits.
It was the
outfit he came home with.
No, the outfit that I put on when I announced him.
Yes, you're right. That's the one. So whatever, roaches everywhere. So Emily, being the persuasive person that she is, she called the landlord. She was just like, "You're gonna fumigate this place, and you're gonna open up these windows, because if something were to happen in here, we're going to die."
Yeah.
And she like laid into the landlord. I was just like, yes. And you know what the lady did? She's like, if not, you're gonna be hearing from our lawyers. So immediately the lady
Emily put her foot down.
The hell yeah, she did, and it was great. And the next day she called and she's like, is anybody gonna be home so that I can go ahead and send the fumigator, blah blah blah. I'm like, I'm gonna be home whatever time you tell me to be home, because we need this handled.
Yeah. And
she brought her guy to cut open all of the windows. Literally, he had to bring like a box cutter, a box cutter to and rip through the layers of paint to just get us to open and close. We didn't want those windows open for anything.
Yeah, because bugs.
And lizards. And she got them open anyway, because she was just like, no, bro.
Well, it is a dangerous.
A hazard, absolutely. And then whatever, we spent the whole year there, and then, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about school. I learned a lot about other people. Mm-hmm. We did the year there. Emily and Melissa graduated at the end of that year. And then I was stuck commuting for another whole year because I can't afford a place by myself. I did get a part-time. I worked at the Gap. I hate you. Mm-hmm. I hate the Gap. I don't want you as a sponsor. I did not like it. Here to the Gap. But I ended up having to commute the last year by myself, and then I finally graduated. Whatever. So that was that.
So would you say your worst? Because clearly you've said it. Your worst was the commute.
I want to say no. The commute does have to do with it, but I think because it could be both best and worst. I think it was the loneliness.
Okay.
So all my life I've had people around.
Yeah.
Like
me.
Huh?
Me.
Right. But then when I was in West Palm and I didn't know this girl very well, and Melissa was off doing her thing, and then it was I needed to learn how to be alone. And I needed to be comfortable with that. So I think it could be best and worst, just because there were days that were very lonely, just because there were days that I didn't have, or certain schedules that I had that I didn't speak for hours. Yeah. Almost days that I didn't speak to anybody, and out loud. So I think, yes, the commute, because at the end of the day, it was my time, I guess. But I want to say it's also the best, because that's where I learned what I loved. I love shows, and I figure I can watch a show here on the train. That's okay. I'm not gonna get in trouble, I don't have anybody diciendo oye, ponte a hacer lo tuyo. It was a nice moment once I got over the loneliness of it. I think the silence was okay. Yeah. You're okay. And I made a great friend out of it. Emily, shout out Emily.
Shout out to Emily.
She lives in the States now. We love her. She was living in Mexico. Sorry.
I was like, you said Connecticut.
Right. So, she was in school. She lived in Connecticut, and then she moved to Mexico and got married. Yes, to Adrian, her boyfriend, her husband now, but her boyfriend then. She got married to him, and then they finally moved to Connecticut, and now they have a baby of their own, or a son of their own, and they're gonna have another one now. Good for her. So we love Emily. Still friends. But I think the worst part would have been the commute. There were a lot of things that happened on that commute that I'll never forget.
I don't know how many times you called and you were like, The train stopped. Somebody decided to run in front of it.
Somebody decided to run in front of it, or like it hit a car, or like
or it broke down once, and we had to go pick you up.
Yes,
at Deerfield.
Yep, it was that. Or it was this train doesn't have AC. Or so I didn't know before I took the train that a lot of people commute with the train. Mm-hmm. So when we hit certain stations, I knew to like hold my things because there were so many people on the train and kids too. So there's a school. So if you look at the train list of like the stops, West Palm is second to last. Mm-hmm. One last stop is I forgot what it's called.
I think it's like Lake something.
Lake Worth.
So
Lake Worth has a school that parents pay for like a teacher or a guide to go on the train with the kid, and they live in Boca. So they'll go to the station, drop off their kid, make sure the aide is there to watch them, obviously, and to get to school. The kid will ride the train from Boca to Lake Worth, go to school all day, and then wait at the station with the guide, come back. Boca, parents pick them up at the Boca station.
Must be nice to have money. To pay someone to like accompany you on the train.
Yes, a babysitter. But mind you, this one person or like these people, these guides or whatever had like, bro, I'm not kidding. I think I have a blurry picture somewhere in my phone of like us stopping in Boca to pick up the students. It looked like a sea of children. It was like 100 kids. It's like a whole school,
That's
like a
crazy.
whole elementary. And elementary, you get me? Like, not even high schoolers who you can
it's that age,
get away with being like, hey, stop that. You know, like it's children.
Yeah.
Sit down, grab your backpack. Don't step on that lady. You know, like, oh my God, it was just so much. And sometimes I would ride the train. And I'm like, so the train, some of the seats have tables so that you can like work or whatever. Because people, again, any type of business person would be on there working. Some of them had plugs so you can plug in your laptop. No Wi-Fi, but you can plug in your laptop and work. And like students would have their books out and stuff like that. So oftentimes I'd be like, all right, wrap everything up because there's going to be 40 people sitting next to me. So I don't want to take up all that space, you know? So it was absolutely nuts. I remember this one time there was a bunch of kids and they were throwing, I don't know what it was, but they were throwing it side to side like this from so the chairs were 4 on 4, they would face each other this way, and they were throwing something at each other and blah, 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 blah. And then me and Melissa were like sitting we would always find the seats that are only just 2 because we're like, nobody can ask us because we're 2 people and we have all our stuff on top of us. And they were throwing this thing back and forth and blah 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 blah, and one of them yeeted it just pop, and it hit the glass of the train. Luckily those are double panes, so like
so it didn't break.
It didn't break, but it shattered. It went
oh no,
and they all immediately silent. I was just like me and Melissa were like
shook.
Oh my goodness, what the heck were they throwing? So it turns out it was like a little rock that they were just like pelting at each other. These kids are stupid. Do that outside. Not all kids. Just the troublesome one who throws
We're
rocks
not going through
inside
controversy
trains.
on this podcast.
No. Why?
Didn't you hear the latest controversy with Meghan Trainor?
¿Qué hizo?
Where she said F teachers.
Oh, well.
TikTok is.
I saw something like that.
Yeah,
I saw one TikTok. I know.
She apologized, but.
I Megan.
Nope.
Oh, she's canceled. Pobrecita. I liked her. Rest in peace to your career. But so these kids were throwing the rock, and the guide came up, and she was fuming. I was just like, this lady's gonna hit this kid. I was just like, Melissa, start recording because I don't listen. We were. I was just like, World Star. Before there was TMZ, there was World Star.
Before TMZ and before the Shade Room,
that's
there was
right.
World Star.
So I was just like, listen, start recording. I wait. And the lady was just, both of you downstairs now. Because it's a double decker.
Yeah.
When you ride the tri-rail. It's 2 floors. Both of you downstairs no. And the lady was red. Her ears were just fire. So yes, commuting was the worst. Still to this day, I see the train and I wish nothing but the worst. I don't.
And what's the best part? Aside from, you said the loneliness was the best and worst.
Right. So
unless there's another specific, like, best part.
The best part, I think it was... That's a good question. I don't know. I want to say I think the friendships that I made,
Mm-hmm.
still friends with Emily. I still have some friends from actual school, but I think the college experience was, I mean, like, I didn't do like the things that you see on TV. Like, it's not even about that.
Yeah.
You're mostly tired.
Yeah.
Really.
I'm
It's
sure.
just like, I want to go home and just like, I don't want to do this. At some point, I was in one of the semesters, I was doing 6 classes. And I was just like, after this last one, I want to throw every single laptop and computer into the trash can.
Yep.
And I don't want to see it until next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think another one of those, yeah, that was pretty much the best. I think I had a passion for learning.
Mm-hmm.
I learned my passion for learning.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring things out, simplifying my complicatedness, my complicated thoughts. A lot of the teachers were just like, why wouldn't you just do? Ah! And I'm here trying to run circles around it. You know, it was one of those things. And I think another one of those not the worst things, but I didn't take advantage of the time that I was there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, it's not like you see in the movies, but it's also a sense of freedom. It's also like, you know, what do we do? You know?
Yeah.
I didn't take advantage of it. I took my apartment for granted. Today, I'm sure that cost $1 million.
Oh man, yeah.
It was very nice. It had a nook, you know, had pane windows.
I remember I was there a couple times.
Yeah. But I think other than that, I think my passion for learning and my friendships and the college experience was good.
Yeah.
I don't have any complaints about it. Like I don't have any traumatic experiences. I mean, I have a few traumatic experiences, but I mean, nothing that are going to, it just makes me more aware, you know?
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it was pretty good. I think it was a good time.
I think for people who like are going to college or have the opportunity to go to college, if I think about it now, back in the days, I don't know. I'm not saying that, you know, like staying is bad, but I think I would have gone away somewhere too for that same reason. For like, I feel like you don't really get the full college experience when you stay home.
Agreed.
And you have an opportunity, obviously, in both ways to make new friends and learn new things, etc. But I think that's a big thing, like learning how to be by yourself, especially when you come from, obviously, you live in a house with 4 other people and you go to a super small school where everyone is super close. You go to the same church where everyone is super close. Being able to like learn how to be like by yourself and on your own and become independent.
Yes, that's a huge thing. Becoming independent. I learned to miss the things at home. Yeah. Because sometimes I was just like, I don't want to be here. I want to be there.
At some point, you got tired of the food that you were eating. You're like, I want dad's
Here's
food.
the question: what food? Because at this point, I was so broke that I was having PB&Js and whatever frozen chicken was in the friggin' freezer that I had to like. We had drumsticks, and the deal was, Melissa, because Melissa's a great cook, I said, you cook and I will clean the dishes.
Yeah.
I love washing dishes, FYI. So I said, okay, that's our deal. You cook and I will clean everything. Yeah. But oftentimes she was either out doing some studies or she was out with her mans or whatever, so she couldn't cook for me. So sometimes I was just like, I have to fend for myself. Yeah. I need to cook this and I'm going to be fine. There wasn't like YouTube wasn't a big old thing back then, so I was just like, I'm gonna cook chicken.
But it wasn't always bad though.
No, it wasn't.
Because I remember you telling me stories about you and Emily having like late night McDonald's or Taco Bell runs.
Girl, at some point those employees knew who we were. They're like, hi girls, anything? What would you like tonight? We're like, oh my God, Capena, we have to go to Taco Bell tomorrow because we can't go into McDonald's. At some point they sent us coupons.
Yeah, I remember that.
Coupons for McDonald's, and Emily taped it on the door, and I opened the door and I see it. She heard me open the door. She opens her door. She was just like, do you want to go to McDonald's? I was just like, get in the car. So we had our moments with our...
Because you're also the only one who had a car.
Melissa had a car. Melissa had a car. But she was oftentimes doing something else. Yeah. With Zachary, her husband. Now husband. So me and Emily would be like, oftentimes she would be like, do you think that you can take me to Publix, please? I will pay for all the gas, blah, blah, blah. I go, Emily, say less. Yeah. Let's go, bro. So I took a picture once of her buying like bananas and apples and blah blah blah, and I bought tortillas. Why? I don't know. Because I wanted tortillas. It was just.
I remember you used to come home on the weekends and mom would either send you with a bunch of food.
Yes.
Or like give you like a specific like gift card for like a grocery store. Like here, go buy the groceries.
Here's a Walmart gift card que me dieron a mí, pero cógela tú.
Yeah.
I thank you, mommy. Yeah. So we would be, Emily, we're going to Walmart. We're eating good. We're eating good tonight. Yeah. So oftentimes I would stock up on like frozen things, like frozen veggies. And I was just like, one time I texted a picture to your parents. I'm like, I made eggplants and veggies. He was just like, amazing. Your dad's like, it looks good.
Eggplant is a veggie.
I know, Anna, I know. And it was terrible. I was just like, I ate all of it. It made my mouth so tingly.
You're probably allergic to it.
100% allergic to eggplant. Great. And the chicken, I would like make it. It was just drumsticks, like shh, I would wait a couple until it was charred. I didn't eat it because I was just like, I'm gonna get sick.
Yeah.
Or like, I think this drumstick is done.
Make sure it's
we're gonna
cooked all the
rip
way.
it apart.
Yeah,
we're just gonna rip it apart and cook it a little longer.
Yeah.
I was a hot mess express, but I didn't take advantage. I went to one school dance, which was the spring fling, and me and Emily, we were dates, and it was lame. It was super lame, but we loved it. It was her last one and my first one. It was great. It was nice. Sometimes I would leave the computer lab, because we had homework that we had to do. Mm-hmm. I was a graphic design major, so I had to be in the lab, and I didn't have a big old Mac, whatever.
Yeah.
So I oftentimes had to stay with my friends, my school friends. So they would be like, oh, let's meet up at the lab later on. Okay, cool. We'll meet up at the lab. And we would be there till like 3 a.m. They lived on campus.
Yeah.
I had to ride back home. And it was like 3 a.m. And I was just like, this is stupid stuff.
Yeah.
So I learned to be independent, but also responsible.
Right.
Because I was just like, we're not doing this ever again. It's very scary. And my house is surrounded by trees, and somebody can hide behind it and kill me.
Yeah.
So no, thank you. So oftentimes it was that. But
yeah, I love that. College life.
It
isn't always what it's pictured.
That's
or painted out to be.
That's right. I think college life is what you make it.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend go away for college.
I'm not going nowhere.
Should you want to? I mean, listen. You don't know what God has planned for your life.
I don't, but I don't know that going away for college with kids and a husband is gonna be it.
I mean, maybe we don't know. Let's just wait on God, shall we? Anyway. That's it. That's it for our episode 7. Thank you guys again for sticking around. A hand clap for you guys. That's the wrong. Sorry, that was the wrong button. There it is.
Clapping to it.
Good job, Anna.
Okay. Thanks for watching episode 7. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos, our Instagram reels. And if you're listening to us on any podcast platform, make sure to like us and rate us.
Yes.
5 stars, okay?
5 stars.
5.
And if it's 4, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.